Now moving on to the NBA, free agent forward Kawhi Leonard finally making a decision over the weekend. The 2019 NBA Finals MVP who gave the city of Toronto its first championship is headed to Los Angeles. Leonard will play for the Clippers together with six-time All-Star Paul George. Reports say Leonard specifically told the Clippers that for him to sign with them, they needed to acquire the services of George. A lot of people were shocked with Leonard's decision. Many thought that he would either pick the Los Angeles Lakers or re-sign with the Toronto Raptors. And joining me right now to break down the latest developments in the NBA free agency is none other than Sportsdesk analyst, Coach Ronnie Magsanoc. Hi, Coach. Good morning.
Hi, Jay.
Good weekend?
Always.
It's nice to have you back. Okay, it's back to the NBA frenzy once again. Because last time we talked, wala pang mga gantong decisions, big movements. Coach, first of all, decision of Kawhi Leonard. I remember you did say though, tingin mo sa Clippers, pero nagkaroon ng inkling tayo na baka mag-Lakers.
Tama.
Were you surprised na dito siya bumagsak sa LA Clippers?
I really thought that he'll be joining the Lakers because of the big decision made by Anthony Davis. Pero alam mo, as early as 2 years ago, when the Clippers cleaned up yung kanilang salary cap by trading Blake Griffin, I think that was in the works. Noong nagkakaproblema pa lang siya last year sa Spurs, nababanggit na yan dahil ang Clippers is a destination team given that they have traded their superstars and they had the biggest salary cap available for two max players. Nagulat lang ako dahil last 48 hours nangyari. But I guess that was well planned for Kawhi Leonard given na meron siyang leverage to decide at the last minute. But I think given that Paul George move was a calculated risk on the part of the management team handling itong si Kawhi Leonard.
You think kung hindi na-trade, kung hindi nakuha ng Clippers si Paul George, hindi pupunta si Kawhi Leonard doon?
Yun ang sabi niya Yun ang sabi niya. It was his call. And I think it was made easier because OKC is moving in a different direction. When they traded Steven Adams, I thought that they would be breaking up their core. At itong huling galaw na to na naulila na si Russell Westbrook sa OKC, yun ang nagpatunay na talagang ibang direction na para sa OKC. And it made it easier for the Clippers to sign up Paul George together with Kawhi Leonard.
Now, do you think, of course, this makes the Clippers now a contender, but do you think they're the favorites to win the West or even the title in 2020? Even odds makers in Las Vegas are saying, na sila mag-champion daw like sa 2019-2020 season.
Let me put it this way. I think this is the first time that the Warriors will not be the heralded favorites heading to the next year. In the last 10 years sa West, 5 teams lang yung nakakarating sa dulo Sa East, lagyan na natin sa 10. So I think this is one wild summer that happened that restored parity in the league. Yes, nawala na yung big three, pero meron ng super tandem sa at least 6 na teams. And I think the West is going to be another wild West this coming year. But the East is going to be wide open dahil na-shake up din ang Boston. Marami ring teams na humina, to say the least. But Milwaukee is still going to be a tough team to beat pagdating sa Eastern Conference.
Of course, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, hindi lang naman sila kilala offensively. They're all-stars, they're superstars.
Saka defensive players.
Exactly. They're two-way players. They're lockdown defenders. Dagdag pa natin si Patrick Beverley. Had a huge contract, re-signed with the Clippers. Montrezl Harrell coming off the bench. Talk about Lou Williams, 6th man of the year off the bench. But etong Lob City, parang magiging Lock City na itong Clippers.
The time that Chris Paul was traded from the Clippers, yun na yung unang trigger I think behind the scenes, yung work ni Jerry West, it can clearly be deciphered. Alam mo na may gumagawa ng mga kilos behind the scenes because tandaan natin that in the last 2 years, yung salary cap ng NBA pumalo na talaga. And this year was, I think, the highest ever. That's why yung mga players na hindi naman sa kalibre nila Kawhi Leonard, ito yung mga nakinabang. Look at the deal of Chris Middleton and Nikola Vucevic.
Laki.
Anyway, talaga makikita mo balanseng-balanse yung Clippers at bumalanse rin ng LA Lakers. So, will they win it all in 2020? Let me put it this way. They were a playoff team last year. They could go deeper into the playoffs because they have a coach who every player likes to play for.
Rivers.
Malaking bagay yon.
He won a title
Right.
with Boston.
So, in the next 4 years at least, in the peak years of Kawhi and Paul George, they'll be contenders. along the way, probably they'll need a few pieces here and there to make themselves really prime for the longest haul. But contenders, yes, to win it all, probably not yet. Along the mold of the LA Lakers, who are looking to make it to the playoffs for the next year. But there'll be contenders along the way because I believe this is just the start of the route towards the top para sa LA Clippers.
Nabanggit mo kanina, Coach, yung OKC, parang ngayon, nakikita natin going a different direction, getting a lot of picks from the Los Angeles Clippers.
Aalis na rin
And si Westbrook, gusto na umalis. Saan sa tingin mo, like, where's OKC going? Rebuilding? Are they going a different direction? And like Russell Westbrook still has a huge contract, 4 years.
4-year contract.
4 years, yes.
He's headed to a team that can afford his salary, one. But I think he wants to play for a contender. So, in terms of it going to happen, the only question is when is it going to happen? The franchise is headed to a different direction already. Kung saan na lang siya pupunta, kung saan siya mas walang kaaway, kung saan siya mas kailangan, at kung saan siya pwedeng manalo, yun ang hinahanap ng kanyang...
I'm sure there are a lot of teams wanting a Russell Westbrook.
Yes, of course.
Possible destinations, Coach?
Iniisip ko pa dahil nakuha na ng Miami si
Jimmy Butler.
Wala na ring pera. Chinecheck ko kasi every day
yung salary
pera,
cap, yung kaya.
yung
Okay.
pera. Kasi namani-obra ng Lakers ng maayos yung kanila So, quality players yung nakuha nila. I think Boogie Cousins was a coup for the Lakers. So, yung kay Russell Westbrook, the main thing involved there is yung...
Houston Rockets, I see some reports na gusto daw ng
Let's
Houston
see kung dahil meron din
Russell
silang
Westbrook.
turbulence with Chris Paul. So, maybe a good mix dahil nakasama na si James Harden before Russell Westbrook. But I think it will take quite some time para mangyari yun. Because sa ngayon, naayos ng OKC yung team nila. Kumbaga, tapon superstar sila, rebuild sila. So, Russell Westbrook has to wait. Because he's protected by that humongous salary or deal that he was able to broker during his peak years sa OKC.
Kawhi Leonard's decision to sign with the Los Angeles Clippers paved the way for teams to run after other free agents. The other Los Angeles team, the Lakers, signed DeMarcus Cousins to a one-year contract while also bringing back point guard Rajon Rondo. And we still have here with us Sportsdesk basketball analyst, Coach Ronnie Magsanoc. Coach, domino effect as expected. Inaantay lang talaga yung Kawhi Leonard, yung decision niya kung saan siya pupunta. When he made that decision, because sabi nga sa Lakers, 3 lang yung players na under contract noong time na yun, diba? And then, they had to fill up the roster. Let's talk about this. Sunod-sunod na nag-sign. Let's start with DeMarcus Cousins. Signing a one-year deal with the Lakers. They bring back Rajon Rondo. And nagkampito, Rondo, Davis, and Cousins with New Orleans.
Right. Factor in Jared Dudley. KCP is
right.
also back sa team ng Lakers. But I think the biggest on-board player right now for them is Danny Green.
Danny Green, yes.
Napakalaking bagay. Kung titignan mo, with that amount of money, the Lakers were able to maximize what they needed. They were able to plug in the positions that they needed to strengthen. Pero malaking bagay kasi yung dalawa because multiple positions ang pwedeng laruin ni LeBron at ni Anthony Davis. But those role players are seasoned players who know how to win. And that's why I just have to disagree. This is not the other LA team. This is the LA team. The other LA team are the Clippers. They're trying to beat the Lakers.
Big brother pa rin si Lakers.
Parang ang Brooklyn Nets. They've always been referred to as the other New York
team.
Now they're out to beat one of the biggest losers in this free draft fiesta. Dahil para sa akin, dalawang teams yung talagang hindi nakinabang OKC at New York Knicks. Given yung flexibility and amount of money na meron sanang New York to spend this year.
Sila may pinakamalaki nun sa free agency.
Sabi nila sa kanila pupunta.
Si Durant pati si Kyrie.
Walang nagpunta di ba?
Wala. Okay, nabanggit ko nga, Coach. Ito yung Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, Rajon Rondo. Tingin mo yung chemistry because yun nga, they played with for the Pelicans.
Yes.
Umabot ng playoffs. It was a fun team to watch.
Right.
I enjoyed watching that team with a veteran point guard in Rondo. You have the two bigs. Gusto nila maglaro with each other. Boogie and
Saka may alpha na sila who can bring them in terms of winning experience.
Di ba kukulangan bola dyan, Coach?
Marunong na mag-sacrifice yung mga yan. The mere fact that sasakripisyo ka ng pera, yung bola kaya mo nang isakripisyo. I think among these big NBA names, the biggest sacrifice is to yung alam mo naman na kaya mong mas malaki pero pupunta ka ron dahil gusto mo manalo. I think the 3 players you mentioned, Rondo, Davis, and Boogie Cousins, not only do they play well together, but I think the behind-the-scenes talk that kung hindi matuloy sa ganito, dito ka na, and hopefully you'll get your money eventually Baga, mag-i-invest ka lang ngayon. Even Rondo was in limbo for quite some time.
Yeah.
Hindi nila alam kung saan pupunta. But it all panned out for each of them. And I think this will be a good year ahead para dito sa Lakers with all the things that happened na hindi dapat nangyari para sa kanila. I think they're bound for the playoffs definitely.
The Battle of Los Angeles is shaping up to be one good one. Diba? Sa Staples Center, Lakers versus Clippers. You have Kawhi, Paul George, LeBron, Anthony Davis. Coach, ikaw, yung thoughts mo on the storyline of that, yung LA versus LA, and also all the other storylines?
I think the management teams of these NBA superstars really waited for this year. I think it was just bent because of the injuries that happened to Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson. Pero dictated pa rin itong mga big names yung market eh. Wherever they will go, whatever they decide, the domino effect will follow. Because sila lang yung susundan ng mga teams na hindi makakakuha sa kanila kung ano yung pwede nilang maneuvers bago magtapos yung deadline. I think, once again, as I mentioned earlier, this restores the parity in the NBA that was lost because of the big three phenomena na nangyari because of what Cleveland did and what Golden State built. But eventually, things will eventually even out. And it only happened because of the exponential increase in the cap. So pwede ka nang gumalaw. Dati talagang sakal ka eh. But even then, may luxury tax na tinatamaan. But let's also mention that the Sixers made bold moves that are effective. And that Boston continues to be a tough team in the East. Pero Utah has had some...
Oh yeah, ganda ng mga moves ng Utah. Utah is going to be a tough team in the West. Okay, a tight race. Lakers, Clippers, pinag-usapan natin. Golden State, they have some good additions. D'Angelo Russell, Willie Cauley-Stein.
Pelicans will be interesting to watch as well.
Who do you think will come out of the West? It's like what you said, it's a deep, deep Western Conference now. You still have Denver there, you still have the Portland there.
Right.
And grab itong West. And then New Orleans.
Yes, of course. Let's not overlook the Spurs.
The Spurs as well?
Who will have no legit superstar in its roster, but its system will continue to work for Coach Pop. I think it's going to be a toss-up between, simply because Klay Thompson is still out, a toss-up between the Lakers, the Clippers, and of course, you cannot overlook the Spurs. Para sa akin. The Nuggets, dangerous. Portland, with Lillard and McCollum, continues to be...
San Whiteside, nandun na ngayon sa
malaking
Portland.
bagay. I have been waiting for Whiteside to be traded in the last 2 years dahil in spite of the fact that he acquired that huge money deal, they were never eye to eye ni Coach Po. And I think this will work well for them. Butler is now with the Heat, and then Whiteside will be able to finally realize his potential with a different team.
It's going to be exciting, that's for sure. Coach, thank you.
Everybody's looking forward to it.
It's going to be a great NBA season again. Coach Ronnie, thank you for being here. As always, a pleasure having you on the show. Maraming salamat, Coach.
Maraming salamat.
Again, that was Sportsdesk basketball analyst, one and only Coach Ronnie Magsanoc.